Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Deputy Brendan Hurley, the Public Information Officer for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. We wanted to update you on a significant investigation that we have going on into the Sweden bank robbery. To do that, Sheriff Todd Baxter, B-A-X-T-E-R, will be giving you an update along with Investigator Sergeant Dave Bolton, B-O-L-T-O-N. And with that, I will turn it over to the Sheriff.
Thank you, Deputy Hurley. This was an incredible bank robbery, almost from a movie if you look at it, and when you see the story in totality, it could be in a movie. And then I think just as important, or if not more significant, is the investigation and the arrest done by absolute phenomenal police work and information from citizens that led to this significant arrest. If you recall, on April 7th at about 4:09 p.m., Monroe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to 6564th Section Road, M&T Bank, for a report of a robbery, where the suspect had entered at gunpoint and corralled all the occupants of the bank into a ladies' room and then escorted staff to the vault to conduct the robbery. The suspect stole approximately $452,000 in cash. That's a significant amount of money. The initial report came in. The initial report also indicated that a suspect had possibly left in a blue Honda Civic in an unknown direction. At about 4:42 p.m. on that date, a concerned citizen in the town of Hamlin reported seeing one male wiping down and removing the license plates of a blue Honda Civic. This was at 1703 Lake Road in the town of Hamlin, a significant distance away from the M&T Bank. Deputies Inglesby and Hayes located two males in a Tops parking lot. What occurred is the vehicle that was with the blue Honda Civic, there was another vehicle, a black SUV, that was seen next to it by this reporting person. She did not see it leave, but when she checked the area a second time, that black SUV was no longer there. She reported that. Deputies started scouring the area, and they found that black SUV with Florida plates behind the Tops Market in the town of Hamlin a short time later, unoccupied. They called in a perimeter and additional resources to start checking that area, and they were able to locate two males that were people of concern for this robbery and took them both into custody. They were also able to locate evidence of the robbery, including all the cash that was stolen at the plaza of the Tops Market. That's just phenomenal police work. That's phenomenal effort by a concerned citizen just to report something weird, something odd. She obviously was not aware of the robbery that just occurred. The responding units using technology to our advantage, including drone technology, and able to take two suspects into custody. We're happy to report that one of the suspects has been charged. John Savage, 49, of the city of Rochester, was arrested and charged with robbery in the first degree, a Class B felony, and grand larceny in the second degree, a Class D felony. This was an incredibly excellent job by the reporting people at the bank that gave us significant information, the concerned citizen, and the overwhelming response of the Sheriff's Office, the Brockport Police Department, the Greece Police Department, the New York State Police, all responded to assist in this investigation. This is not an investigation we see very often where literally $500,000 is stolen from a bank at gunpoint. We're corralling all the terrorized victims into a ladies' room. With that, we're bringing justice where justice needs to be served. We're recovering a significant amount of money, and I couldn't be any more happy than I could be right now with the response of not only the community but our first responders. These guys and gals knocked it out of the ballpark. We have more police work to do here. We got much more investigation to do. But for more details on the investigation and what the follow-up steps may be, I'm going to turn it over to the investigative sergeant who really spearheads these investigations all the time for us, Dave Bolton. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Sheriff.
So as the sheriff said, kind of from the movies, right? Almost $500,000, a real gun. We would term that, we call that a takeover, meaning that it's not a pass note. There was people actually in danger in that bank. He was armed, came into the bank, in fact, put all of the employees into the bathroom, and while he did that, he had two of the employees help him access the vault where he was able to take that money. From there, he ends up leaving the bank, getting into an awaiting vehicle, and that vehicle, being the blue Honda, leaves the area of the bank, and nobody sees it. bank employees are able to get a license plate on that vehicle and get that out to responding patrol. Responding patrol does an excellent job of responding to the suspicious vehicle. And again, to reiterate what the sheriff said, phenomenal job by our concerned citizen, who not only stays and watches that vehicle, but continues to put herself in a position to be able to see what's happening and relay that information on to the deputies. Once the deputies get there, they're able to find that vehicle, they're able to find the blue Honda at 19 and 18, and then they're able to search the area and find the referenced black SUV. From there, deputies did a great job of securing the scene and taking 2 individuals into custody. Again, it was a fantastic job by the deputies, and I think that the conclusion, there's a lot more work to be done, but I think it was a very positive conclusion. In my time here, that's definitely the biggest bank robbery we've ever had, and certainly the biggest recovery of funds from a bank robbery. And we were able to recover all of the money. Good questions, if you are, sure.
Within an hour, right?
Within an hour.
Can I just ask, what is the second person? Was that person driving the blue car and then they went off and met the black car, or was that a waiting car to switch? What's the connection to the second person?
So we're working on the second person right now, and I think we're going to have something to report in the very near future. These cases, although what makes perfect sense to any reasonable person, is not always what's necessary in order to take somebody into custody and charge them. We're working on that probable cause right now, and we anticipate a future announcement. So there's no indication, shockingly enough, and you bring it up, there's no indication of a serious criminal record by either one of these 2 people or any connection to any larger scheme. I will say that these are, particularly the person arrested, we found night vision goggles, we found some trackers, we found some things that would lead us to believe that this was a very elaborate plan and something that had been worked out, but we have no indication that it's tied to anybody outside of the people that were involved that day.
Do either of the people have a connection to the bank? Was there a certain time of day were there any other customers in the bank at the time, or were they all employees? And was there any connection between the person who robbed the bank at the time?
So, to answer the first part of that, there was all employees into the bank as far as I understand it. Connection to the bank, it's very unusual for these branches to have this much money in the branch at the time. But as far as a connection to the person, to anybody working at the bank, we don't have that yet, but I will say we're not done looking. Obviously, like I said, this is unusual. It's unusual the amount. It's unusual for the bank to have that kind of money. So obviously, those are the same questions we would be thinking, right? And so we're looking into that.
Have you been able to determine how the 2 were related, or have you gotten any information from the first suspect pertaining to what transpired for them to act in the way that they did?
So as far as a connection between the 2, I'm not going to get into that because it's all part of what we're doing right now. But I could tell you that, I'm sorry, I lost a bit of your question. Oh, the information. So a lot of the information that we were able to get was through video review. We didn't extend, in the short time, we've only been at this now for almost just over a day. We've recovered hundreds of hours of video, and we've reached out for assistance, and we will reach out to the public for assistance. In fact, before I'm done, I'm going to give you a route and a time frame that I would like to see if anybody sees these cars in that time frame. But our connection is basically built through our video review and interviews of other people. But as far as the people involved, they're not helping us.
The black SUV has blue plates on it. Were these cars that were registered to the people you have, or had they been stolen? Had the plates been switched beforehand?
So the GMC is a rental vehicle, and the blue Honda was unregistered with no registration, no legal registration.
Can you say what they were doing behind the tops? Is that where they were found, or were they occurring somewhere else?
So they were found in the Tops Plaza. There's a storefront there. It was a vacant storefront. that's where one of the people was taken into custody. One was a short distance from that. And what they were doing was, likely trying to evade us.
And in terms of the employees, when you were able to defend the conversation, how many were there, and were they ordered to have any restrictions, anything like that,
So they were ordered into the bathroom. We've spoken with them. I'm not sure that I'm willing to talk about what they've said. Again, like I said, we're still exploring all possibilities, right? Like all the possibilities. So I'm not really going to talk about what happened inside the bank.
Could you talk about just what their feelings were, and were they scared?
They were scared. They were terrorized. I mean, it's a legitimate, like you say, it's like the movies, and it is. Only difference here is there's real jeopardy here. That's a real gun, and that's a real scary situation, right? So of course they were terrorized. They seem to comply, right? I watch video. They seem to comply, but what choice do they really have, right? So I think that, of course they were terrorized. Of course they were scared, but I think they did the right thing as well.
There's not a gun charge here. Was the gun legally owned?
So no, the gun was not legally owned. There's not a gun charge, and of course that can be followed up in grand jury. But the reason there's no gun charge is we don't recover a gun until after we do a search warrant, and we had already charged before that search warrant was completed. So we don't know what the gun is at that time. We have. Real 9mm gun, shoots bullets. Yep. So I just wanted to do one more thing. So the two vehicles, if I could get those up, you see the blue Honda Civic and then the black GMC. We believe those vehicles left the bank, and so what I'm looking for is between 4 and 4:30. The route that they take is west on 4th Section Road to Redmond Road, north on Redmond Road to Route 18, and then east on Route 18. What I'm looking for is anybody who might have video, if you're driving a car with a dash cam, if you live along that route, I'm looking for video that would put these two cars together. And then particularly, I'm also looking for in that same time frame, the black SUV maybe being east of Route 19 on Route 18. We believe that that vehicle, the black vehicle, goes past Route 19 on Route 18 and then has to come back in order to pick up the person who was in the broke-down Honda Civic. So I'm looking for anybody who might have video or information on these two vehicles, and again, particularly in that time frame between 4 and 4:30. And the route, again, would be 4th Section Road to Redmond Road to Route 18 past Route 19. It broke down.
Right when it left the bank?
No, it broke down at the corner of Route 18 and Route 19.
It broke down in the middle of a heist of a bank? Like it took the getaway car?
This was a well-planned operation, except for the car.
So then the black car came to pick this person up? Or
The SUV, we believe that the SUV comes back and picks up the person that was in the blue Honda. Yes.
I just want.
I was going to say, once they picked them up, then they went back to the cops here, and
That's where they're ultimately found. Yes.
Was the black SUV at the bank with the blue car? Were they both vehicles at the bank?
Obviously, I believe that since I'm looking for that route. Yes, I believe that the black SUV was at the bank.
There's no exterior video of the bank?
There's plenty of video. I'm looking for more. All cash. All cash. So the bank has a lot of security measures in place, as you know. In this particular case, they're unable to access some of those based on the circumstances.
Yeah, most of these bank robberies, right, are notes passed and opportunities to do other, security measures that banks have in place. This one was a takeover. This is the video heist that we see on TV. So there's not many opportunities to deploy those security options. But what they did do is give us information. They gave us that initial response by the first responding deputies had information that they could play off of almost immediately because they were willing to share that information and gain that information. And I can't overemphasize that a concerned citizen sees something, say something. We say it all the time. That's her community. She's looking at this going, that's just odd. That vehicle parked there was odd. That vehicle being wiped down is obviously odd. And why is he taking the plates off? And just relaying that information. And then she picked up on a black SUV with Florida plates that when she circled around again wasn't there anymore. and she reported it at the 911. This is just good information. This is how we solve crimes. And then flooding that area, and the two deputies I recognized earlier of just finding that black SUV behind the Tops Market, unoccupied. And now we go looking for the bad guys, right? And saturating the area and bringing our technology. We're able to recover the two bad guys and all the money. Just great police work, incredible teamwork by the community, and our supporting agencies, the New York State Police, Rockport Police was there in minutes, Grease PD, all these people played well. So,
Exactly where were they picked up?
they were picked up in the Tops Market. So the vehicles behind, they were out in front. One person was in the area, and the other person was towards that storefront that the detective sergeant had mentioned.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to drive the right back. So we think both cars are at the bank. The guy in the black car doesn't go in, just the guy in the blue car. And then.
So I'm not going to get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
particular of who's involved, how they're involved, how the cars are. I believe that the black car and the blue car are both at the bank. I know that, okay? I saw them out there. They're both there. I believe that after the robbery, the black car follows the blue car on the path that I gave. Like I said, hopefully in a few days I'll be able to update you with much more, but that's the path I'm looking for, and that's what I'm asking the public's help for.
But where's the one in state of fate situation now? That's not cops. That's
No.
Where the vehicle broke down.
Yeah,
the vehicle breaks down.
Yep,
And
yep.
that's when they're trying to switch the car.
Yep.
correct.
And they're together.
That was at 1703 Lake Road, right at the corner, if you will. And she sees the black SUV, just again tweaks her curiosity. That's odd, and then doesn't see it, so she reports that to us. And again, not knowing what's going on in totality, just reporting suspicious activity to us, and then we're putting the puzzle pieces together. And the deputies flooding the Tops Market, finding that vehicle unoccupied, which got missing bad guys and it's got missing evidence that within minutes they're able to recover by saturating that area.
How unusual is it to see a takeover like this as opposed to just passing it up? I mean, is this kind of just weird?
Yeah, I've been doing this for 38 years. I've seen very few. I can't remember the takeovers. Again, when they're describing this to me in the initial brief, I'm like, this is a movie. You see this in the movie. We see hundreds of bank robberies, but it's all note passed and that type of thing. And someone gets away with $100, $200 or whatever the number is. So this is very significant. This is very unusual, and this was extremely dangerous. When you're herding people into a ladies' room at gunpoint, and one of those people could do something that might jeopardize all of them, or he can, get very nervous, or another citizen can walk in the door at the same time and change the whole dynamics in a second. And you're sitting there thinking, I'm just coming to work today, working at the bank. I don't want to die. I'm sure that's running through people's minds at this point. It was significant.
You know, if there any counseling going on with the
So we offer our victims assistance. I don't know if I want to say the ladies by name, but I don't know if they've been out yet. But
Yes, our victim assistants have reached out.
absolutely.
Do you think he was pacing the place for a while with all that equipment in the car? Like they had planned it?
I think, I'll speak on behalf of the detective sergeant. I think we just want to be limited in what we say because we still got to complete the investigation, and we obviously got to go forward with the prosecution. And the more we say about this type of stuff, could come up in the prosecution phase, and then I got a district attorney. That's not, we want to share with the public. We want to share great police work, obviously. We want to share with the public that was a significant robbery that occurred in the town. But more importantly, we want justice, and so we got to be limited in what we say to make sure we get justice.
the second person was picked up, though, right?
There was a second person detained.
Is he still being detained, or has he been?
Yeah.
He's not being detained currently. He has been released. As I said, we have to build probable cause, and we're in the process of building probable cause.
And that's why we're asking for more information, right? The more information we get, the more cause we can build, and more proof we can have for subsequent prosecution of this case. So anybody that has this information on these two vehicles, very distinct now. You got pictures of them. We got the route of travel. If anybody has a doorbell camera that we might not have found yet, just give us a call, and we'll come out and look at that with you and recover it if we need to recover it. Great questions. Thank you.